contains strong language and has therefore been rated 18 plus by the YouTube NECCA. Viewer discretion is advised.
سبحان فالق الإصباح.
Allahu Akbar!
Ding dong. Hello?
Yes, that's right, infidels. You found us here, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, where you get the most real talk, the best reviews of all your favorite wrestling shows from AEW and WWE, Impact, and more, because we're going to break it all down with the best staff in professional wrestling at HMG. So you don't need to go anywhere else, because there's no 5 stars here. There's only $5 face slaps, infidel.
Allahu Akbar!
So sign up today, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, and join the Hameen Army for the most real talk in professional wrestling. YOLO!
The PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to.
Hello everyone and welcome to the PWC Monday Night Machismo. I am your host, moi, Jimmy T, and my co-host, he's supposed to be saying payback is in French, but I read it in English. Dr. Jeff Lippman, welcome back to the Machismo. What is payback in French?
Well, we're going to payback, and they were speaking a lot of French last night, and I couldn't get the quote that they kept saying, or I didn't take the time to do it. But, I'm wondering, has anyone seen Frida and Tilda Swinton ever in the same place at the same time?
I believe I haven't, Jeff. Have you?
No, I don't think I have either, and it strikes me that they might be one and the same.
Oh, interesting indeed. And look who it is. It is Homeboy88. He says, I love this track. It's a classic, bro. Classic Daft Punk from like back in the 90s. It is a classic for sure. And Aaron Ben Shlomo is in the house, and he's saying hello, everyone. And he's saying the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not a bad game. The problem with it is that I need to get 2 or 3 or 4 people who play it for a party. Add me, Aaron, at Priceless Gym on Xbox Live.
Yeah, you're looking at the wrong guy if you're looking at me.
He says, I died now, so I'll do it soon. Well, make sure you do it soon. But anyway, we're not here to talk video games or the Chainsaw Massacre. Maybe on Wednesday night we will, Jeff, but not tonight.
If I was in the game, I would definitely try to kill him.
I can't believe it. And look who else is in his house. It is the Comic King in Todd Brantley. What's the haps, bro? Hey, yo.
Shocking.
It's always good when Todd Brantley is in the hood. That's for sure. But Jeff,
it's exciting to see all these folks in here. Now, I understand Aaron because his time zone is so different than ours. But, like, what do all these folks do for a living that they're have time to watch our show and they're not using this time to sleep?
It's a good question. I don't judge whatever they do for a living. I mean, they could be night workers for you know.
But I'm assuming they're night workers, but they would need the day to sleep, wouldn't they? I mean, I don't know. Night workers, you implying they're sex workers?
You're asking too many questions, Jeff.
Hey, yo.
Way too many questions.
I'm not judging, I'm just asking questions.
Anyway, we're not here to judge, like Jeff said, but what do you motherfuckers do? Nah, I'm joking, man. I don't know, who cares? I don't care what you do. Whatever it is, as long as it's above the law.
To give to HMG every month, so that's good.
Who wants to know, Jimmy, what's the picture you have? I've got a picture of my cartoon self with a greased soccer top on, by the way, juggling a football. You should see, you can't miss it. It's a white jersey I'm wearing. So, yeah.
You can tell it's fiction because he's juggling a soccer ball, not tripping all over the soccer ball and falling on it.
I can juggle a soccer ball, Jeff.
I believe that you could have at some point.
I haven't kicked the ball in a couple of years, I'm not going to lie, but I played soccer all my life, dude. That was my game, dude. Actually, it still is. Mm-hmm. I love soccer, bro, but I like to call it football for that matter, but you know what I mean.
Hacky sack.
Funny you brought that up because I actually watched Return of the Zohan. Shout outs to all my Israeli peeps out there.
He's sweet.
I mean, I've seen it years ago, but I rewatched it, and the movie still makes me laugh. And there was also, yeah, oh my god,
and that woman is so good looking, or was.
She looks what? She's not alive anymore.
Well, I don't know. I assume she's still alive. I'm just not sure if she's still that good looking. I mean, it was 15 years ago.
That is true. It was 15 years ago. Jeez, time flies.
Not everybody is Selma Hayek and Halle Berry.
That's also true. I mean, Selma Hayek, man, she still looks magnificent at her age, bro.
Mm-hmm. She was also in Entourage. I think somehow she was supposed to be E's girlfriend, which, you know, that was seriously jumping the shark.
Well, speaking of jumping the shark, I know this is not intentional. It just seems to happen. And lately, I feel like we're talking a lot of entertainment news, Jeff. What the hell's going on with the PWC?
I don't know. We're worldwide. You know, I went to summer camp with the guy who was the writer and producer of Entourage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was buddies with the Wahlbergs growing up. We thought he was full of shit. He's like, I have friends and they're going to become big time music, stars.
No shit.
Who fucking knew? I didn't even know until I saw I saw the writer producer, Doug Allen, and I'm like, same name, whatever. But he casts himself as himself in the show every now and then. And,
holy shit!
And I'm like, holy shit, that is Doug Allen.
That's pretty cool, man. I didn't go to school with anyone that became famous. I'm trying to think.
Well, summer.
There was a couple of athletes,
but actually, I have a surprise. One guy was a writer for soap operas for years. My friend Mark Hammer, he's a producer. He's had every kind of production. He produces things all the time. I mean, he's worked on everything from Young Rock to the movie Heat. And then another dude that I've known him since I'm 3 years old. He wrote The Nick, and he's the writer and producer of Perry Mason now on HBO. Probably always was.
That's awesome. That's actually quite sick, bro. I mean, you say you don't have friends, but I know you got some friends in high places, Jeff.
Just because I know them doesn't mean they're my friends. I mean, the guy I went to middle school and high school with, he's like the number one orthopedist in the country.
You know some more directors too, movie directors, producers, don't you?
Yeah, I know a few. I know some people here or there. I mean, I know them in theory. I mean,
I've seen proof, Jeff.
I could get to them if I really, really needed to, but that doesn't mean they would do anything for me or respond.
Come on now.
I probably should have been nicer to a lot of people.
I was friends with a celebrity once upon a time. I actually he cracked it into Hollywood for a short while, and he was meant to be something sort of big, but I don't know if you've heard of the actor Nathan Phillips.
Nathan Phillips? No, I don't think so.
Nathan Phillips. he became something. I'm going back now, like around 2004 is when he started really breaking into Hollywood.
Well,
and he's done a couple of big name movies, and then, sorry?
I'm very old, so that's like right around my time. That's still new to me.
Yeah, well, surprisingly, I mean, I'll tell you the movies that he did, actually. Well, he was in, what that you would know of, Wolf Creek, which is an Australian movie, technically.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
You would have seen that because everybody actually knows it.
It was a Wolfman movie, right? It was like a werewolf movie.
No. It was actually it was a true story about a murderer, as a matter of fact. Who, have you heard of, what's his name? Ivan Milat?
No.
He was one of the worst serial killers in Australia, man. But he'd kill all tourists mainly. And it was pretty brutal.
I
but it's
was
based off
a tourist in Australia.
Yeah, no, he was already long in jail. He's died now. This is going back in the late 90s, mid 90s. During those days. I mean, have you noticed there's not many serial killers anymore roaming the streets in the world, it feels like, unless they're gang related.
How would we know? You never know until after.
Well, except for, well, that's true too. Well, technically, I mean, you know, it'll be on the news. You're a lawyer, Jeff. You would know, like, characteristics and shit like that.
Yeah, but maybe they haven't figured it out yet. Sometimes it takes years to figure out it's a serial killer. I mean, there's the guy that they just arrested in Long Island that has been a serial killer for 30 years. They've tied like 11 or 13 bodies to him.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you're right. That's true.
They call him the Sligo Creek Killer.
Well, yeah. What about the latest guy in New York? Right. I mean, who would have thought, though, a guy like that who was an architect, I think, and a successful one at that too.
No, you have to be. I mean, how else do you fool your wife and kids with all this working long hours and business trip, stuff and whatever that he obviously had to do. But yeah, so listen, I'm sure there's still serial killers out there. Maybe there's serial killers who are out there and they're like Omar from The Wire. They're picking off people in the drug trade just figuring the cops aren't going to pay any attention to it.
Maybe.
It's another drug hit.
Yeah, weird, man. Weird, because that's the first time in a long time that,
There's so many great ways to be a serial killer and not get caught. I mean, you can claim it was for like a hate crime, but it's like completely not like something like me attacking a reformed temple. It's like no one would look at me, but if that's all I did, I would leave clues about Nazis or something, or or Islamic jihadists, or really anyone, and they never look at me if I was like halfway careful. Allegedly.
Homeboy 88 says that's cool. I met the Hulkster brother.
No, he had to text me this earlier in the week. Like it's like It's like, this is a story you tell on a podcast, not a story that you text people. But I know that, okay, he met the Hulkster and the Hulkster was mean to him.
Also, Todd said, I've been told I look like Gustavo from Breaking Bad. Yeah.
You're much younger, but like Giancarlo, I mean, if you look like him from when he was on Homicide, then that would be more apt because he was much younger then. But
not Homicide?
Not Homicide. No? This is American Homicide, so it's just Homicide.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's actually get away from entertainment news tonight here at the PWE.
He might be Magneto. Giancarlo Esposito. That's what I'm hearing. And that Jeffrey, God, what the fuck's his name? Wayne, I think is his last name. Oh, God, why can't? Anyway, he might be Professor X.
Ah, interesting.
Yep.
Then who's Chris? Who's our very own Chris Ames?
I don't think Chris Ames is being cast in the movie.
I know, but he should be. But anyway, before we move on,
he'll be Sabretooth. He's Canadian.
Is he? He's not Canadian, is he? Really?
Yeah, isn't he like Wolverine's like nemesis from like when they were young? He had to be Canadian.
Wait. There's Canadian superheroes in the Marvel DC universes?
Oh, Alpha Flight is an entire Canadian superhero team that their basic mission is to catch Wolverine, but they're like the Canadian Avengers. They had Sasquatch, Shaman, Polaris, and Aurora.
Yeah.
Homeboy,
no shit. That's what we're talking about. Jesus, homeboy. That's it, you're demoted again.
Yeah, Puck. The guy named Puck, he looks like John Silver, basically.
That's funny, man. I never realized. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of comics and shit like that.
Vindicator was their like Captain America or their Superman, their leader type. He was sort of a mix between Iron Man. Like everything came from the suit, but it wasn't as bulky as the Iron Man suit. So somehow Canada had better technology than Tony Stark.
That's funny, man. That actually popped me right now. But anyway, like I said, enough of... Oh, what was that?
Are you okay?
Did that just get thrown at you, Jeff?
Oh, she attacked me. Don't be jealous. It's just Jimmy.
Wait, where did that fly from, dude?
There's this thing called gravity, and it keeps us from falling off the earth. Or floating off of the earth.
It looked like someone threw it towards you, Jeff.
Well, there's ghosts in here. There's a lot of witchcraft in here. I mean, this is the Garden of Doom, after all.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But are you the real evil dose?
Listen, that's for me to know and other people to find out. All you need to know that the evil dose is at least twice as evil as Evil Uno, and this is yet another reason why Evil Dose shall prevail.
Actually, it's a good segue into professional wrestling. I saw Evil Dose's little beef or feud with Evil Uno on the Twitterverse, or should I say the X-verse, whatever you want to call it.
And Uno has given up fighting back, or at least I don't see it.
I was going to jump in and then I didn't know what to say, so I'm like, fucking...
Right, what were they saying? Let's hear it. Let's hear about this tiff. Obviously, I don't know anything about it.
You must know about it, because I can't tell you verbatim. Something about who was the most evilest. Evil Uno's the most evilest. And then Evil Dose jumped in and said, no. Evil Dose is more evil than Evil Uno, but not in those words.
All Evil Uno is a cuck that's in love with Adam Page. I mean, he gave up his ex-girlfriend, Stu Grayson, for Adam Page, and then look what happened. This whole little group of losers became a much smaller group of losers.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Shots fired by the allegedly not Evil Dose man himself. But anyway, like Aaron Ben Shlomo says, though, Evil Uno is a clown.
Absolutely.
And we agree.
Yeah, 100%.
Todd says, I think all Canadians are superheroes like Bret Hart before he turned heel in the States.
He was still a superhero in Canada.
He was a super duper hero in Canada still.
Listen, all Canadians are superheroes for the fact that every kid I knew growing up lied about having a girlfriend in Canada, including me. I was a kid I knew.
Canadians, you got to love them, man. There's something else. Like, Canadians are just, I don't know, man. They're too nice, but they're great people. Yeah, so thumbs up, eh?
Well, this was a very Canadian show because Raw generated from Quebec City, the province of
not Montreal, right? Quebec
Montreal,
City.
yes, no, that was good. It was well, merci beaucoup, Trish.
Oh boy, don't even go there. I mean,
well,
this
we're going to have to get there. Listen, last night's Raw was at least 6 times better than last week's Raw.
It was, but it still had its flaws. And before we do get into Raw, though, Jeff, was there any news we needed to speak of before we actually get into Raw proper?
I don't know. WrestleMania has sold over 92 million tickets already. Apparently,
Don't tell them that.
Apparently, that's not important at all.
No, not at all. Remember, AEW's got the biggest gate in the history of pro wrestling.
They sure do, and as proof of that, Collision did 482,000 viewers last week, up 3,000 from the week before. That marks 3 consecutive weeks under 500,000 views, and SummerSlam was only on one of them. So I don't know. This is starting to feel like a new norm. It's starting to seem like a plateau. Whoa!
It sure does. Oh boy!
You gotta tell that monkey back there to hit the cymbals better timing.
You know what's funny about that? It's true. It should have done it, but on the download, it will actually play normal.
Oh, wow.
Which is weird, yeah. So I'm glad that you heard what I heard, because I'm thinking that didn't even sound right. But yeah, I don't know why it does that. It just does.
Okay.
But anyway, Jeff. So yeah, we were in Quebec City, Quebec. It was a city so nice they had to name it twice, just like New York, right?
At least. Maybe even better. I don't know. I've never been to Quebec City, but I have been to Quebec.
It's funny because I bet you 90% of this planet probably don't even know that Quebec City is an actual city and not the province of Quebec?
I'm not sure that I knew it until last night. I mean, I know Jersey City, New Jersey. I do know New York, New York.
I won't lie. I didn't know until last night either. Because, yeah, Quebec City, Quebec. Like, I think it was the first time actually WB have done a show from Quebec City, as I read somewhere earlier tonight.
Well, it's possible. I mean, listen, it's not that we should all learn all of our geography from where wrestling shows go, but that's going to be part of the, secondary or third cities that, you don't need to learn about in school, and you probably didn't need to, travel for vacations or work or drive through on a map or whatever.
Well, when you think of Quebec, right, it's just Quebec. You hear of the province of Quebec, not Quebec City, Quebec. You know what I mean?
No, well, you think of Montreal.
Yeah, well, definitely. I thought, no shit, for the first 10 minutes, I thought, hang on, we're at the Bell Center, 100%, right? And then I'm like, hang on a minute, I don't think they are. So I looked it up, and I'm like, oh shit, they're in Quebec City, and it's different. It's not Montreal.
I always look at the little robot placard at the beginning to say where it is, because you always ask me, but I always forget anyway, but except for this time.
Yeah, see, usually I just gloss over it, right? But you hear it along the show at least a million times where they're from. So,
And I know that the wrestling media was telling us that there was going to be a surprise, huge return last night. I guess that was Kevin Owens. I guess that was the huge surprise return. And I don't think that was much of a surprise. By the way, I listened to that podcast that you
I did it mainly for you.
and I didn't hear Kevin Owens sounding so in despair or like he was so upset. Yeah, he wasn't.
Oh, come on.
No, seriously, I didn't. I mean,
Wow.
I listened to the whole thing. He sounded the same. He said that he used to worry about every little week. Now he tries to live in the minute. He recognized how special his last 2 years were and how great the run was and how great the story was. And yeah, he's a little bit concerned that he and Sammy are not living up to the legacy of the Usos and whatever. And guess what?
And he blamed creative for that.
I mean, yeah, well, also his ribs. But guess what? They won't. They can't, because they're not going to have that kind of run. I'm sorry. When you beat legendary champions, and you're not going to be legendary champions, you're not going to. So we should just sort of get over that. Unless they're going to be a team for a long time and be like the New Day and win the title 7 more times in the next 10 years.
Yeah, but see, I feel like he's very disappointed. I mean, heck, he's even disappointed that WWE didn't pull the trigger at Elimination Chamber in Montreal earlier in the year.
I know, but everybody, listen, he also admitted that he's a wrestler. He's a mark, and anyone who feels that way is a complete mark. Sami Zayn as the world champion would have been a good business idea for about 10 and a half days, and then it would have been obvious to have been a terrible business idea. Sami Zayn is not the person you put on Good Morning America. He's not the person you have on TMZ. He's not the person that you have throwing the first pitch of the Yankees game, maybe at a Canadian Football League thing or something. But no, I mean, it's just he's just not the guy. He looks like everyone else.
And Todd says they used to have an NHL team as well in the Quebec Nordiques. I knew that, Todd, as a matter of fact, but they weren't in Quebec City though. They were still in Montreal. So
they used to have a lot of teams in Canada who moved to the United States to cities that don't even like hockey, and they still did better than
That's
Canada
weird, bro.
that allegedly likes hockey. So,
like, why the fuck is there teams in Arizona? Like, for example.
Well, for one, there's population. Two, the TV is more lucrative because American networks pay for American TV, not Canadian TV.
That's true.
The other thing
but
is
Atlanta also.
When
that's
the
also
players
true.
got paid in American, but they lived in Canada, their money didn't go as far.
Yeah,
and they got taxed. I mean, what's the Canadian tax? I think it's like 49.5% on the federal. It is.
They do GST, I think, over there. As a matter of fact, just like we do here in Australia.
No, they have a federal tax. I looked it up once because I had a guess. Everyone's
all right. But for example, like in the States, with most states, like when you buy a product, you have to pay tax on top of the price, right?
Yeah, there's sales tax, but that's usually state.
Right, but it's not implemented into the actual price. Like when you see like a video game, for example, it doesn't say the extra tax that you're going to pay on top of the already.
Because we don't have a federal sales tax.
Right.
There are
Whereas
federal
here-
excise tax on certain sin things like cigarettes.
Okay. Well, here, for example, the tax is already in the price, so you're paying the tax on top, right?
But you can't do it here because here in Maryland, our sales tax is 6%, but in Delaware, the sales tax is 0. In New York, the sales tax is like 9%.
Shit. What's the highest, actually? What state is the highest?
Probably California, but I don't know.
Oh, they probably pay out of their fucking backsides with tax.
I don't know. I mean, this is probably a big reason why, well, I mean, it's weird with all the cyber stuff because you do pay your state tax. I guess if you don't leave the house, you can justify it by you're not using gas or your time. But yeah, that's a whole. But that's some of the reasons why the Canadian teams didn't last in Canada.
21%.
No, not sales tax. I mean,
that's crazy, Aaron. Yeah, but yeah, like that's what Canadian teams. Sorry,
there might be a 21% income tax in New York. I don't know, but it's your state income tax is deductible from your federal income tax, so you don't pay it. Listen, this is the reason why we don't have nationalized health care, is because we've got all these other taxes that add up to something, but so do other countries as well, and our typical tax rate is about 25%, where most countries have nationalized health care. Their typical tax rate is about 55%. So there it is right there, folks. We hate paying taxes here, but we like to complain about the health care. I mean, which...
Well, that's fair. I mean, the healthcare thing's a big deal, I think, though. But yeah, with all the tax things that are going on, like, what's funny? I've been seeing, like, online, like, Americans moving over to Australia for certain reasons, right? This girl in particular moved. No shit, this is crazy in my opinion, because it wouldn't really bother me if I was over there. But because of the gun laws, until there's stricter gun laws, she ain't coming back to the States, for example.
Well, how'd she get into Australia? It's not easy to move to Australia and just...
No, but she would have been squeaky clean, dude. 100%.
Yeah, even then. Listen, my ex-girlfriend's sister was married to an Australian and had 3 Australian kids, and it took her like 10 years to become an Australian citizen.
So they didn't even give... So she married an Australian, right?
Yeah.
And
gave birth to 3 children in Australia. Lived in Australia. Worked in Australia.
I was going to say, she was working, she was doing all that?
Yeah, she was like the top salesperson. I only remember because she sold like these kitchen, like slow cookers or something, like some sort of kitchen thing that it was a slow cooker, an oven, and a toaster all in like in one thing, or like a micro. It had like a 3-in-1 function. It was really pretty amazing.
I'm pretty sure you guys would have the same thing.
I don't think we
sounds like one of those late night, call up, the for us it's called TVSN.
We didn't at the time, and I still think we don't. It may well just be like a protectionist thing, like we don't import it, or it might just be because it's not deemed safe enough. I don't know.
Nah, well, I'm assuming we imported it too, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, that's interesting. It is hard to get here, but it's just as hard to get into the States too, man.
No,
but you think
much easier.
You think so?
Well, how do you think we have?
But you're American.
Million,
you don't know that.
Aliens. It's pretty easy to get in there.
I don't know, man. Like for example, if you've got a slight criminal record, and when I say criminal record, you might have gone to court and got off a charge, for example, right?
Let's just say your name is Daniel Wheeler.
Who's Daniel Wheeler?
Cash Wheeler.
Oh, Cash Cashton. Oh, what's going on with him? Actually, is any latest news about him?
No new news.
Nothing.
No.
So we're just assuming he's going to be in England?
I'm not assuming anything. I mean, I think that they're working on getting it cleared. I don't mean the charges. I mean getting his entry into the UK cleared for a special event kind of visa thing.
Interesting. Well, anyway, Aaron says, Jeff, only the visa takes a few months. Aaron, have you been to Australia, by the way? If you have, I mean, Israelis love going all over the world.
I went to Australia, and it took me about 5 or 6 months to get the visa.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy, man. You think countries like Australia and the US...
It probably didn't take that much time. It's probably just my girlfriend wanted to make sure that there were no problems. But it took... Right. To get a visa to the U.S., but a lot of places we don't need visas to come. Anyway,
you're coming from Israel, buddy.
it's a lot easier.
No offense.
It's a lot easier to come to immigrate to the United States than it is to a lot of other countries, like most European countries, Canada and Australia. It's still not exactly easy, and like our numbers on like professional visas versus what people really need the immigrants for, which is like seasonal workers and farm workers and shit like that.
No, you're right. And you're right also, Aaron. Australia was 16-hour flight until not too long ago. Yeah, because now they've got direct one-way flights now from the US to Australia and vice versa. If you're going from Melbourne Airport or Sydney Airport, you've got direct flights to either JFK or LAX.
Yeah, but they're super expensive. When I flew on the way there, I went from BWI to, I think, LAX to Sydney, and on the way back, it was San Francisco. But sure, there's direct flights to the West Coast and to major cities like DC and New York, but for everything else, it's connecting.
Right, yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I'm glad that there's one-way flights. But technically, like we were discussing a while back, actually, on one of our shows, if they just went straight over the Pacific, which they don't, to get to the US for some reason, I think you'd get there so fast.
What do you think they do?
I don't think they cut completely over the Pacific, believe it or not. They go like a weird way.
No, they don't.
They go up, right?
They don't go up and right. What you're seeing is the plane's actual trajectory over a flat map, but it's because the Earth is round. They go in a straight line.
Okay, all right. That makes sense.
On my aviation law podcast, I answered that question. I specifically said the answer to your question, Jimmy T.
I should check it out. How long ago was that? That was a long time ago.
Within the last 4 or 5 weeks.
It was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I'll actually check
my
that
boss,
out.
Tom Dunlop, yeah.
What, your boss, your current boss right now?
My current boss, right?
Oh, wow. That's even more interesting. Wait, is he a pilot?
He is a pilot.
Whoa, wow.
Yeah,
well,
his wife wouldn't let him be a helicopter pilot in the military. So the deal was that he would just go into the infantry, and
cool.
But she let him get a regular pilot's license.
Great wife. Absolutely great wife. Actually, as a matter of fact, Jeff, well, if he owns a whole firm, he's got to be pretty loaded, obviously.
I will not comment.
No, that's pretty cool. The fact that you had your boss on, say he was all good. He was, like, obviously you guys get along.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've had a couple of the partners on, but I don't like all the partners aren't technically my boss.
Yeah, because I would look at you as your own boss per se, Jeff.
I mean,
you'd have like a lot of leverage in your workforce, surely.
Well, yeah, there is that, but I mean, the firm just isn't set up that way. I mean, I think that some of the partners, what they did is they brought their own practices into the practice, so they maintain their partner status, but they're not a partner. They don't manage the overall. I think part of but actually,
I get you.
The business, that's just what I think. But the business model really is none of my business, and happily so. I don't want to be involved in any of that stuff.
Can I ask, do you know an Australian journalist who's pretty big in the States also? I'm sure you've probably heard of him, called Ross Coulthard.
Who?
Ross Coulthard.
No, not Ross Coulthard.
You haven't?
I know Mike Hilliard.
Okay. Yeah, wow. Do you like him?
Yes. He was on Garden of Doom yesterday.
Wait.
He just dropped the show
Mike
today.
Hellier.
Mike Hilliard.
Oh, okay, all right. For a minute, I thought someone else, because he's a comedian.
No, from the Redline podcast. They're probably crossing 30 million listens this week.
Oh, wow. What's it called again?
The Redline.
I think I've heard that before. What's it about exactly?
Geopolitics. This week was about the feasibility of nuclear energy.
Okay, interesting. I'm going to look forward to that too. You have a lot of Australians on your podcast.
He's been on the show like 5 times now.
Wow. And wasn't the other Australian guy also been on? The one that's looking for Yowie? Been on like 5 times? Right.
He's been on once, but we have him scheduled for 2 more times. He also, So I finished one and a half of his books now, but the second one I think is a lot like the first. I think there's a lot of
Oh, you've told me that. You've told me that.
But the third one's about giants, so that'll be fun.
Does he believe in? Well, if he believes in Yowie, I'm sure he believes in giants.
He believes in data. Whatever he finds, he believes in it.
Well, didn't he say once him and his son came across or had a close call with a Yowie before?
As I recall it, he told me that he has never seen a Yowie himself.
No, never seen it, but heard it or something like that. It was close by.
I don't recall, but
okay.
You can listen to the show. It's called the Mitrovic Principles, and if it came up during the show, it was mentioned. If not, it will be mentioned on the show about giants, because there's certainly a lot of overlap between giants and anything in the Bigfoot pantheon.
Definitely. I mean, we've given you everything here on the Machismo tonight.
Except wrestling.
Except for wrestling. Well, sort of bits and pieces. Homeboy88 says, Jeff, next time just visit California. It has way more cities and just as beautiful and more people than Australia.
I've been to LA like 4 times. I've been to San Francisco. I've been to San Diego at least twice. I've been to.
And let's be honest, homeboy, San Francisco is pretty poofy.
Yeah,
just saying.
So San Francisco has some great areas, but
of course,
shit areas.
I'm just giving him shit.
Let's see. I've been to Long Beach. That was sort of a dump. Been to Anaheim. That was sort of a dump.
San Jose.
Never been to San Jose, but I like the song "Show Me the Way to San Jose."
Doesn't Melter live in San Jose? Actually,
he went to San Jose State. That's where he got his journalism degree.
And I'm pretty sure he still lives in San Jose also. So let's stay away from there.
Don't they all live in Seattle?
No, I don't think so.
I think so, because they always say they go to his house to watch events, and
in Seattle.
So
he must have moved there, man. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he was in San Jose. Oh, maybe you're right. I don't know. I got to look into that. Not that I care, but homeboy, California doesn't have more cities than Australia.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Weirdo. It actually doesn't.
California, I'm sure there's many more. I mean, it depends how you define city, but
I'm talking about cities here, not states. We're talking about cities.
I understand cities. California has more people than Australia.
What's the population of California?
It's like 34 million.
No, really?
Yeah, it's the 6th biggest economy in the world.
That's crazy, bro. If there's that many people in such a small piece of land, I got to look that. You're probably right. No, for sure. I have no doubt. That's crazy, though, man. Oh, wow. 38.9. That's nuts. Fuck California, bro.
Yeah,
that's too many people, man. Man. That's way too many people.
That's a lot of people. Yeah, there's a lot of people in California. Told you.
Fuck. And how many is, say, in Maryland?
Like 4 million.
Wow. So there's more where I am? We've got 9 million in just Melbourne.
First of all, you don't. We've already had this discussion.
Oh yeah, no.
4.5 million in Melbourne, but yeah, it's about 4.5 million in Maryland. There's about 1 million or so in DC. But yeah,
only 1 million in DC.
Yeah, I mean, almost nobody lives in DC, but yeah, it's about 1 million.
All right. Well, anyway, fuck this. Let's get into wrestling because I don't want to bore our listeners, but
I know, right? What listeners? They're gone. They've already turned the show.
I know.
Just edit out the first 38 minutes.
Nah, relax. A lot of people actually like it, believe it or not, Jeff. Ironically, no, really. But hey, actually, that brings me up about LA Knight. Why don't they let him use dummy anymore? I mean, how funny was it as Eli Drake on Impact? Him going, remember the buzzer that he used to use, a dummy.
Yeah. It was like the easy button from Staples. No, it's terrific.
Dummy, yeah.
I don't know why they don't let him do it. Maybe because there's T-shirts out there from other companies that say it. I don't know.
So what?
I agree with you. So what is exactly right? I mean, yeah, dummies. Yeah, I guess maybe because he's a face, but he's not really. I don't know. I have no idea.
He's not. He's technically still a heel in my eyes, dude.
Maybe because Bailey already uses it.
Oh, true. I forgot about Ding Dong. Hello, dummy. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. No, you're right. Damn, I didn't think of that.
That's probably
there you go.
Reason. Yeah.
There you go. There's the answer. Well, let's get into Raw from Quebec City, Quebec. And what was the place called? I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. The Videotron. The Videotron.
We've had enough
Santerre.
nonsense. Nobody cares about the name of the building.
Well, that's true. The show opens up with a recap of Judgment Day as per usual, but then we see Sami Zayn making his entrance to a thunderous amount of cheers of the Quebecois crowd.
Seriously, it was like over 11 minutes before anybody said a live word on the show.
I loved it, dude. But you know what was going through my head? I was thinking to myself, surely he's just wasted so much time on what he was meant to say, and he didn't even get to say it.
I don't know. I think they factor these things. I mean, they let Seth Rollins go out and people sing for him. Maybe that's why they didn't let Seth Rollins go out, because Sami used his time. But I mean, there's a reason they started and ended the show with Sami Zayn. But yeah, this was a. I don't know. All I thought of this is empty TV. I'm sure it's fun for the live crowd, but it's not fun to watch it on TV for that long.
Yeah. Hello.
Ding dong. Hello.
That's funny. Do I hear an answering machine? Is that you talking on the answering machine in the background there, Jeff?
No, I don't even know. I don't even know Jeff Lippman. No, it's the preset, whatever, and then nobody leaves a message because they're all spam calls.
Yeah, I hate that, man. I get a lot of that shit too. But anyway, we see Sami Zayn pacing around the ring, mic in hand, soaking up the love from the crowd, and getting very sort of agitated in a way about it before finally welcoming the crowd in Francois. And then he just hypes up the crowd. He's hyped. He looks gassed just from the crowd's response. Everyone was doing Sami, not Sammy, but Sami chants because, you know, they got French accents. And ole, ole, ole the whole time, pretty much.
Yeah. See, I hear when they do it, not when you pretend that when Aussie Open goes out there and they go, Aussie, 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 and you pretend the crowd goes, oi, oi. There's like 4 fat guys in the 6th row going, oi, oi, oi.
It's funny. The Americans are starting to like start that chant. I've noticed.
It's not new to us. We've known Aussie.
I know.
Aussie, oi, oi, oi for
I
decades.
know that.
It's just
no
nobody
shit.
cares about Aussie Open.
Everybody knows. That's one of our things. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that about us, of course.
We're just waiting for that guy's hips to actually fall off of his body.
He's assholes, bro. Well, I mean, I know he's got odd hips, though. That's true. I mean, what the fuck?
He's moments away from double hip replacement surgery.
Do you think he took he got the hips from his like mother or some shit? Because that's female hips, dude.
No, it's the opposite of female hips because females have to give birth. So
yeah, well, I'm just saying.
I mean, seriously, my 80-year-old uncle who has had double hip replacement surgery walks better than he does.
Yeah, what's funny, our good friend Raj Giri. Was it Raj Giri or Chan Man? Do you know Chan Man?
No, but Raj Giri is my good friend, so
that's true. You follow each other. He's played with your tickler.
Smart people follow each other.
But anyway, I'm pretty sure it was Raj. He said, realistically, does anyone know what Aussie Open's names are?
The sad thing is, I do.
I do too, but let's be honest though.
Mark Davis,
85%.
Fletcher.
Right, I know.
And I'm not happy that I do.
It's not because of me, just quietly. I don't really mention their names. I know, I'm just saying. But funny enough, 85% though of the wrestling fandom out there on the interwebs in the world, I truly think wouldn't know what their names are.
Of course,
other than their tag name, just Aussie Open.
They never heard of them until a year ago. They just pretended they did.
The UK have heard it because they've been around in the UK indie scene for a few years too, dude.
UK stands for unknown. You know that, right?
Well, I can agree with that. But yeah, you know what I hate about them? Not only do they look weird, which is true, but and I like them as a team. Don't get me wrong, but fucking one sounds like a rah, type of guy, and the other guy's like, hey, like
I know,
yeah, and they sound overly Aussie, man. They sound bogan. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, this word bogan is something that all of a sudden came up 4 weeks ago, as if it's a big word I should know.
Bogan means Australian redneck, basically. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They're not good in any way, shape, or form. Can we just admit that they're not good at all? They're like some sort of discount version of FTR in the Kingdom, like having children.
That's weird, bro. But
Well,
yeah, because they got the height. They got the height of the kingdom, right? But there's the
more like
stockiness of FTR.
One of them looks like should be Matt Taven's stunt double, and the other one looks like Cash Wheeler's like ugly like brother who his mother like really went on a bender when she was pregnant with him.
But he's also got the dashed and mustache there
and haircut.
That's funny.
They're not a good-looking team.
They're odd dudes. Mind you, one of them's a lot older than the other. Like Cole Fletcher's only still in his early 20s, while Mark Davis is in his 30s.
Early 60s. Didn't Cole Fletcher steal Sky Blue from the injured Martin?
He did. How the fuck did he? I mean, I'll take my hats off to fucking
which Martin was
Cole.
Was it Dante or Darius?
It was Dante.
Okay, so it was the kid with the freckles, the squinty eye, and the red hair. I mean, what was she doing with him in the first place? Come on.
I mean, let's be honest. Her taste in men is not that.
No, it's really bad. I mean, it's
pretty bad.
There's hope for every single one of you out there, and I actually include our listeners in this. I mean, she picked like two of the least attractive wrestlers in the world, and honestly, people who have a very low lifespan of a career trajectory in this business. I mean, all of the Martins keep injuring themselves and will continue to forever do that, and they're skinny as shit. And this guy, Kyle Fletcher, wrestles like an idiot too, and there's a pretty good chance he's going to hurt himself too, or his dopey partner is going to be trying to hold him up, and his hips will actually break off his legs like a Lego man, and he'll end up
like the duplex blocks.
Right, and he'll like end up dropping his own partner, and like his back will snap like when Bane did at the Batman. Well, that was better timing.
Yeah, it worked this time.
In an particularly inappropriate place, but okay. Hey, bro,
you always pronounce it duplay blocks. It could be duplay.
No, I think
it's duplex, right? Because as a child, that's how I'd call it.
Yeah, it's
obviously
it's not French. It's duplex.
Right, I know Lego owns duplex. It's Lego, but for children. You know what I mean? I had that before Lego when I was a child.
Everyone did. It was Playtime or something was the name of the brand.
Yeah, it's
Playmobil. That's what it is.
Well, anyway, speaking of Playtime, we do get the Judgment Day coming in next as they surround the ring, and Sammy asks them a question in Francois once again, and then asking if they really thought he'd come here, of all places, alone. And guess who comes back? Obviously,
surprise return debut.
Surprise, however you'd say it in French. Enter Kevin Owens. He cuts a swath through the Judgment Day, finishing up with the stunner on Damian Priest. Owens then gets on the mic and says it's been too long since he had a match on Raw, so he books himself as Sami in a tag match against two of the Judgment Day. He ends it with... Before. Yeah, I know, true. He ends it with a line.
Only he could turn into a 6-man with Cody.
Anyway, we'll get to that.
Oh.
Well, he ends the segment with a line of dialogue in Francois once again.
Cool.
Something parlez-vous, something. Not quite sure. Whatever that is. I know what parlez-vous is, but
it means I'm back on Raw and it's already a repeat.
What? How do you? Can you speak Arabic, Aaron? I mean, do you know what tahalahan means? I hope you don't know what Kisamek means.
Sami is also the way you pronounce it in Arabic.
Sami, yeah. I say even the French Canadians say Sami.
Awesome. All right, moving on.
And they are friends of Ostrich. I assume he's talking about Osprey. Moving right along, we see the new best friends, or the BFFs, in... wait a minute. It's McRiddle. I'm loving it, bro. I'm loving it.
Shouldn't it be McRiddle?
No, it shouldn't, actually. It's MC Tyre.
Is it Drew McIntyre?
It's MC Tyre. It's McIntyre, but pronounced as McIntyre.
Mick is usually Irish. Mac is usually Scottish.
He could be of Irish descent. There is a lot of Irish descent folk in Scotland.
Well, sure, but would be the other way around. But he is Scottish.
Yes, that's right. He's born and raised in Scotland.
Right.
There's too many, Jeff, talking like this.
All right. So what happened next?
Did I mention I'm loving it?
No. No.
You got the joke, right? But at the time
I
when
get
they're
it.
saying,
Yeah, it's like McGriddle, and it's like I'm loving as the McDonald's slush.
yeah,
Very funny. Yeah.
that was funny. Come on, dude, it made me laugh.
Well, where's your duruntun for that?
Oh, true. I wasn't thinking that, but
no
still.
broken back, so no duruntun.
Well, since you said it, I'll say it one more time. You know what was it, Jeff? It was
What?
McGriddle and and I'm loving it.
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god! Oh, you're not a fly guy. You're a fry guy.
Oh, well, Breno79, thank you for listening to us, by the way, or watching us. They both pronounce Mac. Anyway, that's right. We just said that.
No, they're not.
Well,
One is Mick, one is
actually,
Mac.
no, you're right.
All
Depends.
Irish
It
people
depends.
mix.
Because there's
McDonald's,
technically...
not McDonald's.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, actually. That's actually right.
You guys are making her very...
No, you're right. You're right. I thought about it. No, you're right. It's true.
I know I'm right.
Anyway, that leads to a match between Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle versus the New Day in Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods and his ridiculous hairstyle.
Javier
like
Woods, it's Xavier Woods.
I called him Javier.
Why?
I know it's Xavier Woods, but we're in France
It's not his name.
because we're in Quebec City.
An X
It's
doesn't
Javier
turn
for
into a
tonight.
J in Quebec. And a man's name doesn't change just because he's in a different country.
Well,
You treat
they
him with
speak
respect.
French.
He's like a 17-time tag team champion.
That's nothing to sniff at. That's awesome. But let's be real, man. He's looking like Whoopi Goldberg right now, or a poor man's version of
like Whoopi Goldberg.
or a poor man's version of
Goldberg
Rick
is an
James,
old lady.
bitch. I know. I'm talking about old school Whoopi. But man, he's got to do something about that
He
hairdo.
doesn't look like a woman. I mean, his hairstyle that he's chosen now is extreme. But wrestlers often choose extreme hairstyles to stand out. I mean, that's sort of like
that's too extreme for me. Damn it.
I know it's true. Look at your hair. I mean, you got the same hair as Andrade.
No, he's got the same hair as me.
Oh.
I want my mask.
You got the hair of
Where is my
Andrade and the
mask?
face of Wheeler Yuta.
Get fucked. Anyway, that is fucked. I don't like that, Jeff. But
Change your
anywho,
face and change your hair.
no, I'm older than Yuta. God damn it, a lot older than Yuta. So he doesn't look like me. He's half Asian, man. God damn it, I don't look Asian.
You look at least half Asian.
No, I don't. Fuck off.
You look like
Anyway.
eighth Asian.
Jeff. Anyway, this match, not much to really say. It was a back and forth little matchup until we had
By Asian,
some
I mean
fuckery.
Turkmenistani.
Hell no, because they're still Turks.
Then you look Siberian.
No, I don't actually. Do I look like a Ruski?
You look like you're from Vladivostok.
Hey, there's a lot of Greeks that are from that
See?
way also. So,
That's
but I'm
fantastic.
not. But my
think that's
ancestry
very rich.
comes from Asia Minor, though, not ironically. But like around the Istanbul, Izmir region.
Asia Minor?
You know what I
That's
mean.
not Asia Minor. Asia Minor is India.
No,
Pakistan.
not that far. No,
Bangladesh,
not that far back.
Sri Lanka.
No.
Yep, I agree. You're Bengali.
Aaron says, sorry, Jimmy is a Greek. Any connection between him and us Asians is purely coincidental. Yeah, because we moved east. Like, we went out
Jimmy
east.
is a Ben Greekle.
Yeah, and thank you. Asia Minor is Turkey, Jeff.
No, it's not.
It's true. Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
It actually is.
No.
Look, I don't know what that is, but I know it's
Get back to
Hebrew.
wrestling, you fuckheads.
Anyway, let's get back to wrestling because the New Day win by pinfall via the Trouble in Paradise from Kofi Kingston on Matt Riddle, thanks to the Viking Dorks and Valhalla. Ugh. Anyway, post-match, the Viking Raiders hit the ring again and wiped New Day out for good measure. as Finn Balor and JD McDonough are interviewed backstage. But before we cut to that, anything to say about this match, and did you like the ending?
I mean, I like that Riddle and Drew are not having any particular success because I'm not invested in them at all as a team, much like Drew himself. And I hate Riddle, and I don't trust men who paint their nails.
Well, I'm laughing at Aaron Ben Shlomo's comment because apparently Aaron says he wants to clear up that the Hebrew part that he wrote was saying, no, it was Jimmy is Greek. I did not notice the keyboard was on Hebrew. I want to copy and paste that. Jimmy is Greek in Hebrew. I like
Hebrew.
it.
That's right.
In Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
Just like my name. It's me, Jimmy T, in French.
Well, Greek was the language of the Hebrews for a long time.
It was. And a lot of the world, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
But anyway, well, it's true. Well, back to Raw we go because, as I was saying, we see Balor and McDonough are interviewed backstage. JD says he's been friends with Balor forever and he only hopes to make Judgment Day stronger. And Finn points out that McDonough helped lay Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn out.
It's true.
Cool.
That's true. Still don't care, but I wish they would just replace him with Bronson Reed and get it over with. But okay.
Well, you know what else is weird?
Mysteriously hasn't been on the show for a few weeks.
I think he's injured, dude.
Already?
From what I read. Yeah, something was up from what I read. I've got to double check that though. Don't quote me on it.
Bush.
Well, anyway, Rhea Ripley and Dominic roll up to talk to Finn about who's going to team against Kev and Sammy. And she forces JD to stay back, citing Judgment Day business. Now, first of all, when I saw JD and Finn Balor talking, first of all, I couldn't help but think of two Irish leprechauns. And they were both talking fucking Irish. I mean, they were talking English, but...
Did you notice how Finn was wearing the same shirt JD was wearing last week?
Was he? I didn't notice. I thought Finn was wearing a Judgment Day shirt.
He did. He had the Funko figures.
Right,
But over it, he was wearing the same black short sleeve collared shirt.
So what does this mean? Is either Finn Balor leaving Judgment Day, or is JD McDonough going to be part of a subset of Judgment Day?
Yeah, I've said it all along that the priest is going to turn face, and they're all going to turn on him.
Are we going to get Balor Club for everyone again?
Yeah, for everyone who's under 5'11" and 190 pounds.
Well, I'm 5'10", but I'm a lot heavier than what you just said.
Does that make me the Balor Club? You are not.
Thank God.
You're not eligible for a Balor.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that makes two
JD
of us.
McDonough might be under 190 pounds, but his head weighs 230 pounds alone. So
His head is fucking heavy for sure.
Antelope head of his.
Seriously, man,
It's
too much
small.
Irish.
His head's like a watermelon. It's gigantic.
Somebody needs to get a needle and just
Giant pumpkin head or something.
I don't know. The recruiters have done to be whatever they saw in his head, like for real, like
bad time for you to freeze
with a bigger head.
Yeah, I understand.
Anyway,
I get it.
Whatever.
Somebody
Anyway,
made a
we
joke
come back.
about it. I think it was Seth Rollins is a JD McDonough with a giant head on a small body.
Did you say that?
Yeah, it was about the only thing that actually I think Cody said it.
It could have been Cody, actually.
Well,
That sounds more familiar.
for Vanilla Cody, but okay.
Oh boy. Anyway, let's get away from that because it seems like the Judgment Day.
But this is the stirring of the pot. This is the tension within This is the story that they've been building. I mean, this is a long-term story. This is something that's been going on for months.
What's it called? Breno79 says that is some melon head he has. He sure does.
That's Mick Breno.
I don't know which Breno, but I'm just happy he's listening and watching us right now.
Yeah, Breno's 79. Is he better than Homeboy 88? I mean, he's older.
Oh, wait a minute. Aaron Ben Schlemmer says, I think Rhea can beat Finn and is bigger than him. Just her boobs are the size of his head. I mean, does she really have big tits? I mean, her tits are all right, but they're not huge.
She's got some pretty good boobs.
They're good. They're good size. Yeah, for sure. But they're not like They'd be better C cup, say.
No, they're definitely D cup, but
No, you think?
Yeah, or at least C plus. But
Definitely a C plus.
Yeah, I mean, her boob side will, might be around the grade of the show. I guess I have no issue with anything about Rhea's physique or her performance.
She looks bigger, dude. Like muscular, more muscular right now. Her back is just ripped, dude.
Yeah, she looks great. She's always looked great. She looks great in every iteration. It's great. It's amazing.
No, for sure, absolutely. I know it is amazing. And shout outs to another famous Aussie. I guess he's becoming famous in our very own. Guess who? Pierce Austin. And guess what gig he's doing? Actually,
I thought you were going to say Buddy Matthews. Aren't him and Rhea engaged?
They are engaged. I think as of last week. Doesn't feel like it though.
Well, what's up, Pierce? How's it going, man?
Well, you know how he was the commentator. That's right. He's bald too. But you know how he was the ring announcer for Impact Wrestling?
I do.
Well, he's going to be the commentator for the upcoming GCW tour down under.
Hey, listen, he's becoming a big time thing. He is. He's the go-to for the wrestling promotions when they go down and they need local talent. He's become the go-to guy.
He's become for real, man, and good on him. And like I said, look, I think I'm the first one to break this. I don't think he's even broken it because we're talking privately.
Well, that's a
but breaking news. Breaking news. Hey, man, I'm proud of him, though, for real.
Sorry to take the wind out of your own sail. Sorry, but now that it's broken, it's broken. Listen, this is how they discovered Kevin Patrick. You may be the new announcer from Raw that everyone here hates.
Right. Imagine that. I mean, he's getting goes by the American promotions that are coming down. So, I mean...
Wade Barrett and an Aussie. We'll have a British man and an Aussie there.
That'd be funny.
They already have an Irishman on there. Maybe we'll
look, I'll be more than happy to hear an Aussie accent than a friggin' Irish. I'm sick of Irish accents right now, dude. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm just over it, man. I'm hearing too many. I'm hearing Finn Balor. I'm hearing Becky Lynch. I'm hearing JD McDonough. I'm hearing friggin' Kevin Patrick. I'm done with Irish right now. No offense to our Irish listeners. I love you guys. But goddamn it, pal. The way you talk.
I'm limiting my comments just on sick of Kevin Patrick.
Nah, I'm joking. I love the Irish accent, except for Kevin Patrick's, though.
Yeah.
It sucks.
He's not kidding. He just found the lifeline I gave him. Now I'm throwing him under the bus.
I love Sheamus, for example. Banger after banger.
I'm throwing him under Piers Austin's, big truck that can't be stopped.
Oh, he's got a big truck, does he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, shout outs to Pierce Austin once again, man. We're proud of you, dude. Well done. And if you are commentating in Melbourne, by the way, I know he's doing Sydney. I don't know about here. But if he does, I expect backstage passes, dude. I'm looking at you, Pierce. I'm looking at you.
Now you're not too lazy to go and get a media pass?
I'll definitely get the media pass if that's the case. If I can get in the back, I don't need it. I'll just be as the PWC.
Wouldn't you rather have a media pass?
I know, but they got to get to know us first. I mean, how do you apply again? You email their
I think you
their
just
PR.
It's GCW. It's you just contact someone on their website.
All right, well, we'll see. See what happens. Anyway,
ask Ben if you can say that you're from HMG and the PWC, and then go for it.
Breno says, or is it Breno or Breno? But he says that's because all you're hearing is the Dublin accent. That's a curse, like the Irish curse. Yeah.
Well, we learned that he might be from Ireland. It could be.
I bet you he is.
Well, I know that Dublin used to be Dublin, and it means dark pool.
Dublin?
Yeah, it means dark pool in Old Gaelic.
Ah, is that right, Breno?
Yeah.
Or Breno?
Don't wait for the answer. Keep going. We're doing a podcast here.
Let's keep going because we see footage from earlier today, Jeff, or was it earlier yesterday, of Gunther cutting a promo about how the world will see his glory tonight. Well, we see his glory hole, but that's another story.
Whoa. No, we
who
don't.
said that?
I mean, whenever a wrestler has a pre-planned
he's from
video
Cork.
like that, from Cork, County Cork.
There you go.
That's where all the
as a matter of fact, do you like Gaelic football, Brino? Since I'm from Australia, we played like that modified Australian rules Gaelic football. He knows what I mean. Well, it does sound like gay football, right? I mean, but it's not. It's not. It's actually good. But anyway, forget that. But thank you once again for listening to us.
How about you shenanigans?
Shenanigans. He does know. Good stuff, man. If it wasn't for Jeff, I'd get more into it, but you know how it is.
If it wasn't that we were recording a podcast now about Machismo, and you're having a conversation with one person in the chat.
Well, he's from Ireland. I mean, shit. He knows what I'm talking about.
That's so exciting.
Anyway, Chad Gable is interviewed in Gorilla, but Otis steps in and says Chad brought him up at the lowest part of his career, but tonight it's all about Gable as Maxine Dupree takes a turn putting him over. And then we see Gable making his entrance to a thank you.
Yep.
He looks sweaty, dude, already.
He was very sweaty, and Maxine
What's
is
up with
very skeletal.
She was dressed like pretty much Gable, as a matter of fact, also.
I noticed some differences.
Which is a first. Apparently...
I did not see that they had coordinated outfits.
Apparently, a German friend of mine, according to Aaron, was at the show and all he cared about was Gunther. I do not know if it is a German brotherhood or something else, but that is the case. Well, if he's German from Germany and it's Gunther, but even though he's Austrian, same shit though. I mean, why wouldn't he be like hyped for Gunther?
Well, isn't Aaron just Aryan in Hebrew?
Could be.
Yeah,
could be.
That's what I heard.
There you go. Yeah. Well, anyway.
That's how I heard it.
This leads to our matchup between Chad Gable and Gunther for your WWE Intercontinental Championship. And I love this match. This match was great, right? Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of liking their little feud right now. But it just I can't help but think that even though Gable won and it was kind of impressive, he comes across as a dumbass though, dude.
Okay. I mean, sometimes he comes across as a dumbass. He also did Professor Gable. He talked about his 4.0 GPA. I mean, Gable knows what his character is, but he got a win, and he's going to transition that into. He's going to parlay that into a match at Payback for the title.
I'll get to that in a second. Big Ray, speaking of Big Gay, he's in the house saying, Big Ray, why are you gay? Jimmy, who says I'm gay? Big Ray, you are gay.
Okay.
Yeah. You said it, bro. You said it.
Well, he does,
thanks for joining us, man.
Like Gaelic football. We know that much.
Who, me or Ray?
Yeah, you like playing footsie and
I'm not really into Gaelic football, but I was saying the Irish play Gaelic, not the Australians, but anyway. And to answer your question with Aaron's name, it is also a biblical name of a spy, Aaron the Irani.
I mean, what a clever name, Aaron the Irani.
From Iran. Or Jimmy the Jimani. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's move on though. What I mean by dumbass though, Jeff, I mean like I like the suplex sort of toss over the barricade and whatnot, and then he runs into the ring to claim the victory. But why would you want to win it like that?
Getting a win that doesn't hurt Gunther on
then
TV?
Don't do this match yet. Simple.
Well, the pay-per-view's in 2 weeks? And we already heard Imperium saying, what are you going to do about it? I'm going to take care of this. So obviously they're each going to lose to Chad Gable on the way to the show.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. 100%.
So, I mean,
they will.
Or at least the blonde guy, and it'll be blamed on the bald guy.
Well, at the end of the day, it still makes him look like a dumbass still. I don't care, man. At the end of the day, it was an Intercontinental title match.
A win is a win.
He could have won it. A win's a win, but it's not good enough.
What was he supposed to do? Pick the guy up? He's 5'2".
Don't toss him over the barricade just yet.
But in the heat of the moment.
But dude,
he had Berserker battle lust.
Berserker battle lust, really?
Yeah.
Come on now, don't make me go hoos, hoos, hoos.
Okay, I won't make you do that.
That's what Berserker does. You don't remember?
I know.
God
damn. I know what John Nord did.
John Nord, that's true.
Right.
Anyway,
he called himself the Barbarian, and there was also the other Barbarian, the Samoan.
I'm talking about the Berserker, not the Barbarian.
Yes, but John Noor called himself the Barbarian before he was the Berserker.
Did he?
Yes.
I don't remember that. Anyway, you're probably right. I got to look into that one.
Tag team with Bruiser Brody.
Well, they kind of look alike when you think about it.
Kind of.
I mean, they look quite similar, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Bruiser Brody could never stay in one place for very long.
yeah, oh,
And then got
that's
deaded.
true. Well, and then yeah. Anyway, we won't go there. But Gable does win, nevertheless, via countout, and he's screaming a thank you and over and whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess, like you said, we're gonna get him taking on the other two members of Imperium. But I'm worried, Jeff. Are we getting an actual breakup with Imperium coming?
It's looking that way. I hope not, because they're a good tag team, but nobody seems to care. And WWE, I guess they have other tag teams, and and listen, Don Tony's been talking for a long time about Dragunov coming into Imperium, and when Don Tony talks about something too much, I think that somebody told him something from inside, as opposed to it's something that he thinks or actually believes. That's just me shooting shit here. But when he said something for months and months and months, and it may come to pass, I don't think it's something that he like Nostradamus is. I think it's information he was fed, and he pretends that it was something he foresaw. I mean, anybody could see that Ilya Dragunov would fit in well with Imperium, except he used to be Gunther's enemy, but those become your best friends.
Hey, I've said the same thing, funny enough. So
I've said too. I just don't think there's any reason to kick anyone out to add anyone. I mean, we had plenty of 4-person factions and larger. I mean, we had the NWO, which had 37 people in it. The LWO, which had at least 57 people in it. And,
there was a lot of Mexicans.
Raven's Flock, all that. I mean, I know these days it's not that popular to have huge factions.
Dungeon of Doom as well.
Oh, God bless the Dungeon of Doom. It was so good.
Fucking hell. Hated that theme, dude.
But yeah, there's going to be some blaming, and it's going to be Giovanni Vinci that's going to be the scapegoat.
Giovanni, yeah.
And like all scapegoats, they get sacrificed.
Well, if they are breaking up, they're idiots.
Because if they were a scapegoat, they'd get away. The scapegoat doesn't get away.
That's true. And the scapegoat will be totally buried as soon as they get rid of him. I'm telling you, he'll be nothing on that roster, dude.
I tell you, tomorrow, all anybody wants to talk to me about is trademarks tomorrow. It's crazy.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's fine, but it's weird. All right.
Well, trademarks it is.
Trademarks it is.
Wait, is this for your work?
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on? Sorry, was this for work or...
Of course it's for work.
It is? I don't know. It could be for one of your shows, for
That's true too. That's still for work. Also, I count those as for work. They count towards my blog.
Well, oh, there you go. Todd Bradley in the chat says it wasn't as bad as Luger celebrating beating Yokozuna by count out. It was pretty bad though. You got to admit, it's still bad. And there you go. Nord the Barbarian.
Who can even remember? It was so long ago.
Look at this. You didn't win the title and you won't get another shot. Send down the balloons, pal.
Well, he's going to get another shot. That's the difference.
Do you think so? You really think that?
I think the match is going to be Chad Gable versus Gunther at Payback, and Chad Gable will not win.
Yeah, no, he won't win. If imagine they pull the trigger with Gable, which I would be cool with. I won't lie. I would actually be down with that.
Honky Tonk's record?
No, not before breaking Honky Tonk's record, but still, like, if it's right after or on the day or whatever, I mean, I'm cool with it. Imagine him taking away the record like a day or two before the actual record gets broken.
Yeah, I don't know. This feels very much like I want Sami Zayn to beat Roman Reigns now. I don't need Gunther to be a champion forever, but I would rather him be beaten by somebody who looks like they can beat him.
Yeah, well, hey, he's tough, dude. You can't deny him that.
Who?
Gable. He's believable.
Okay, well, we're talking also about Gunther. You're using a pronoun that applies to two different people. Yeah, no, Gable's definitely tough. He's an Olympic athlete, but he's not a gold medalist, so it's not all that. But yeah, I mean, yes, he could win. Listen, he might not win at Payback through some sort of interference or whatever, which causes a stipulation of the next pay-per-view a month later where he does win. And maybe that's where Giovanni Vinci really fucks up, because Gable gets himself a rematch because of Vinci's fuck up. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't want to go that far with it, but I would like to progress in Raw. So
well, progress we shall, Jeff.
And we're in the first 40 minutes of the episode of Raw.
Settle down, because backstage we see Judgment Day once again are arguing over who should face Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, as Dominic Mysterio is kind of like, doesn't really care about who the partner will be, and he says he doesn't care if it's Finn or Priest. And anyway, Rhea is tired of it and tells them they have to make a decision before she comes back, or she'll make it for them.
Good.
And Mami was in control. It was pretty much Monday Night Mami, as a matter of fact. It did feel that way.
Right.
That's true.
She's been leading them for a while, so good.
Is she truly the leader right now?
Well, I don't think she's going to want to take credit for being the leader as they explode. She just has to be the mommy. I mean, she's got
the mommy
dealing with a bunch of immature, insecure little boys. She works with children.
She does. That's true. She really does. I mean, you would have
Stop
thought.
her when she's telling lies.
God, fucking Punk annoys me, man. Seriously. But anyway, it is what it is. Whatever. Let's move on again.
What a mood he's in now when he found out how few people have watched the show the last 2 weeks. I mean, SummerSlam, he knew what was happening.
Yeah, I mean, is he really a draw anymore? Honestly, let's be real here, man.
I think when the AEW universe can unite, he is. But when they're not, I think there's too many people on the Team Elite side or on the Team Punk side to allow them to grow apart. They can only get back to their levels of before to possibly grow together. This is not sustainable.
No, it's not. And you know what? It gives the Elite bragging rights, considering they double the ratings every week compared to Collision. It is what it is.
You're right. It does. And they do. And they, they'll brag about it. And it's not like people pick their own nights for the TV show, but Punk wanted a show. He got a show, and this is the slot. And and it is what it is. All you can say is Rampage does worse. Yeah, well, Rampage is a garbage show.
Can I ask, man, and we'll move on quickly right after that, are we at risk of either A, the show becomes another Rampage or like a Dark, save for 2 hours, or B, the show eventually disappears from TNT?
I think all of these things are in play. I think one thing's for sure. One of those shows has to disappear. So Rampage should probably become the third hour of Dynamite. And
no.
Well,
they'll kill me, bro.
It's not doing well. And, I don't know how much Friday competes with Saturday, but if you're someone who's really a wrestling fan, but everyone else in your world isn't, how many weekend nights in a row can you say every weekend, I got to stay home to watch wrestling?
But you see, no, you're right. But the thing is, Rampage is not that much different to Collision with ratings, which is even more worrisome. I mean, should it be Rampage that gets the flick? I feel like Collision is the one that is more at risk at getting the flick.
It should be, but here's where I'm making a giant mistake of thinking that a lot of people are like me. And if you work Monday through Friday nights you're tired, and it probably doesn't take a whole lot for people to say, yeah, let's stay in Friday night. And probably a lot of the people who aren't the wrestling fans are just asleep, or they're chilling out, or they're looking at their phones or doing whatever. And they don't give a shit what they're doing on Friday night, or what their partner or kids are watching or whatever. Saturday night, they want to go out. I stayed in Friday night. It's like, I'm just, Leatherface. I don't know. I mean, more people did watch it at times, but that was premiere, and then also the night that MJF and Adam Cole were there. And I'm not saying that MJF and Adam Cole in and of themselves are draws. I mean, I can't tell you that they're not based on that, but what I really think it was then, and it's what I said now. I think that when Adam Cole and MJF were on Collision, it gave the AEW universe permission to watch Collision, where both sides of the divide could watch the same show. And I think they need to do some more shit like that to get that going. I mean, I don't think it was an accident that Dynamite started to creep up again when FTR showed up on Dynamite a few times, even doing almost nothing, because it was almost like permission for both sides of the Catholic Church to watch the same show, or both sides of the Roman Empire to watch the same show. I mean, there really is a schism there, and I think little things make it. And that might be why they were trying with Darby and maybe Jungle Boy, but this pillar things ain't it, and it's not enough. It's got to be the top tier elite people and the top tier Team Punk, and we all know who the top 3 guys on Team Punk are, and we all know who the top 4 guys are in the elite. So it's got to involve some combination of them. Adam Cole is probably the closest thing to close enough.
Perfectly put, Jeff. Well, let's get back to Raw, because as we come back from commercial, we see Gunther is yelling at Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci in German for some reason, as Kaiser says he's going to make this right and ask Vinci what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't do anything in the match. It's not their fault. I mean, I understand that the boss gets to yell at his henchmen, and it's always their fault. But I mean, were they even ringside? I don't.
They came at the end of the match.
What? It's not their fault that he got suplexed into. What are they supposed to do? Pick him up and throw him into the ring? Maybe they should. Maybe that's what they'll do next time.
Maybe that's true. Well, next we see Cody Rhodes is interviewed by Byron Saxton. He asks what's wrong with JD McDonough, and Cody says his head is so big he looks like a Funko Pop.
See, it was Cody.
It was, and says where there isn't working when they are isn't. Sorry, it's sort of written bad, but when they're not working and he wants to go for a walk to see some friends. Why are they working when they can go and see some friends on the floor?
Cody didn't want to do the interview backstage, so he brought Byron out to the ring because he wanted to do it live in front of the crowd, and Byron acted like he'd never been in front of a live crowd before in his life. He looked like the kid who won the Willy Wonka golden ticket.
Do you think that was improv?
No, I think that is Todd. You need to get off this Leatherface thing. Todd and Aaron with the Leatherface, enough. Penny's a real person, so she's worse. Leatherface is a character from movies and video games.
Oh no, yeah. You know what? She's pretty yuck, man. And I'm talking about
Todd,
Tammy.
That embarrasses me. Not as a wrestling podcaster, but as a wrestling fan.
There you go. I'm with Jeff on this one, Todd. I'm so.
You let me down, Comment King. You're demoted to Crown Prince.
Oh, Crown Prince of the comments. I like it.
Comment Crown Prince.
Oh God. Anyway, he leads.
Make you a duke.
As he leads Saxon through the halls and out of Gorilla to the stage, to the adoration of Quebec, and he asks what they want to talk about in fucking French. Yes, he did. He asked. Whatever he said in French. What do they want to talk about? Oh, yeah. Si merci c'est beaucoup. Whatever that is. What do you want to talk about? He talks about the numbers game and says if there's one place where the Judgment Day's numbers don't matter, it's down the road from where Kev and Sammy apparently grew up.
Escargot!
Escargot. That's right.
Instead of let's fucking go, escargot.
Yeah, exactly. He said let's go escargot.
Escargot.
And instead of Judgment Day, it's the Judgement Day from now on. Yeah. He wants the Judgment Day to hear them and ask if they'll be in Zayn and Owen's corner tonight, and says they won't be alone because there's no love lost between he and the Judgment Day. I don't know why I could picture Kenny saying that in his promo style. Anyway.
Sacre bleu, mon doux.
Sacre bleu, mon bleu. Whatever. Yople putil yam is French for yam, Jeff.
Gruyere fondue.
Why didn't they do that?
I don't know.
Anyway, Cool, I guess. Cody's always got Zane's and KO's back. I don't know why, but they
great.
just do.
This week he does. Sometimes it's Riddle. Sometimes it's Seth. I mean, for two guys who seem to have a lot of friends, they seem to get being beaten up a lot.
They do. It's true. Anyway, we see a promo package from Shinsuke Nakamura about what he whispered to Seth Rollins last week on Raw. It could have been anything, Jeff. It could have been, I like your laugh. So
this
I want your dick.
Promo was a lot longer than the time it took him to whisper something to Seth's ear.
But that's good, because as he was saying, it was all subtitles, dude. I liked it. Yeah.
Listen, I like when wrestlers who are not native English speakers can speak their own language with the intensity and the inflection that they want to put in it and use subtitles. I don't think there is anything wrong with that. I actually think it's impactful. I think it's more impactful than them being forced to use English when it's not their comfortable language and they can't quite get the inflection that they want because they're trying to struggle to pronounce. I mean, it's sort of unfair and like, you know, Asuka's better in Japanese. Io Sky's Penta is better in Spanish. God knows where Phoenix would be. Andrade certainly is. Rush is. I mean, and so is Nakamura. And I don't understand why they wouldn't be.
We to all of that, indeed. For sure. What's a space laser interface, Jeff?
Interference.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know what the relevance is to now, but I mean, I don't know.
Well, maybe that's what Shinsuke said to Seth.
We need context king. We need more context king there. Ambulance. Ambulance.
For sure. Ambulance. Yeah.
Enjoué.
It's like, yeah, oui. Indeed. Well, anyway, that translation was apparently he says to Seth, he acts like he has it all, but knows his weakness and told him he knows about his back, claiming his back is broken and has been for many years, and he lives in pain from it.
Okay, yeah. So he knows about his weakness that everybody else knows.
Yeah, and everybody loves Raymond. Just saying.
Congratulations, Shinsuke. Did you listen to the interviews that Seth's always giving, where he's always whining and crying?
Nakamura Ichiban. Okay, Jeff. Well, he and Rollins aren't so different, apparently, and he has a void as well, and they live by a code.
It's like Nakamura walks into, like, you know, the DC universe in 2023. He goes, by the way, Kryptonite hurts Superman. I was like, we fucking know.
We fucking know, man. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, we tried that already. Thanks, dumbass.
Well, apparently he knows the code because it's on Seth's tramp stamp back.
Good. Well, I hope he kicks him right in the tramp stamp back.
Yeah, didn't you see his little tramp stamp that he's got in Japanese on his back?
Sure. Yeah, let's just say for the sake of the podcast.
That's the code. It's true. It's the code, apparently.
Oh, that's the code? Whatever. It's not like the numbers from Lost?
No, according to Shinsuke, that's the code.
It's not the Fibonacci sequence?
No, it's not even the Aragotchi sequence.
It's the golden compass.
It could be.
The golden ratio. The golden horde.
It might be. It is a great Angie. Arigato. Hey. It is.
Yeah.
See, there you go. That's what you wanted to hear, Bruno. Well, sorry, Breno. Not Bruno. You're not Italian.
You don't
anyway. Well, definitely not Italian.
You don't know that.
I think I know that. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
I mean, he's from Ireland. He's in Cork. That doesn't mean he's not Italian. You're in Australia, and you're constantly prattling on about Greekness.
Yeah, but Australia is full of immigrants, though, Jeff. I mean,
every place is full of immigrants.
I know, but Ireland is not like Australia in terms of immigration. They do have immigrants. Absolutely, they do.
I mean, but in some ways, it's exactly like Australia. The British fucking found it, took it, and sent people there. It's very close to Australia.
Anyway, we're not here to talk geopolitics or politics, but you know. Anyway, did I mention? Speaking of Australians, we have Candace LaRae, because French, versus Rhea Ripley in a squash match.
Indy Hartwell's Australian.
Yes, she is. She's Chilean from Australia.
See, there you go. Country of immigrants, as you
She
said.
speaks. There you go. She can speak
Chilean
Spanish.
Australian
Sorry.
that's in the United States. So there you go.
In Australia, not United. Well, yeah, in the United States now. That's true.
Well, right now she might still be in Canada. You don't know.
Oh no, you're right. Actually, is SmackDown from Canada? Is this the last show or?
Have no idea. Have no idea if Indy's traveling with the same group. I don't know if she's still seen Dexter or not. I know he's been hanging out with the Wacoma Fire Department.
Dexter.
Yeah, this was a good match. I mean, Rhea clobbered Candace LaRae as she should. Indy couldn't do a damn thing about it. She got out of the riptide, but Rhea showed that she still has submission game on.
Absolutely, she did, and she wins by submission with an elevated inverted cloverleaf that we haven't actually seen in quite a while, Jeff.
Right now, everybody is always complaining about Rhea's reign and how it hasn't been that impressive. But
Get out of here.
Didn't she only win at WrestleMania? And wasn't that in May? So it's August. So it's
it was April. It was April.
April, right? So it's only been 4 months, and so now she's had 2 title matches in 2 weeks. And everyone says they didn't wrestle every 30 days, but she faced what's her face Natty a couple times, and now we have at least she did Lyra Valkyria. I don't know if that was for the title or not, but there's been a few matches now. There's 2 in a row, and they were both squash matches, but. In the annals of time, when people count how many title defenses she had, it'll look like she defended the title at least once every 30 days.
But to be fair, she's had a lot of weak opposition. Like, really,
And
the Raw...
She was a legend.
Yeah, she is. But no, even Zelina Vega, for example, which was for her championship...
There you go.
There you
go.
It's too lopsided.
That's right there. Zelina Vega. Forgot about that one.
Right, but it's very lopsided, I think, the Raw and SmackDown women's rosters. See, I think Ronda Rousey leaving WWE right now has kind of hurt the Raw roster.
I don't think so at all. In fact, when they turn
women, that is.
they turn Rhea face, Shayna's going to be her first opponent. Or if they keep trying to make Shayna a face, which is weird, she might be her next legit opponent after. What's her face? Raquel.
And let's get into that, actually, shall we, Jeff? Because post-match, we see Raquel Rodriguez making an entrance and hobbles to the ramp slowly on a crutch. As Rhea laughs and points at Raquel, throws the crutch at her and attacks.
Well, I have more important things to say right now.
What's that?
Do not wear a bustier if you have nothing to boost.
Oh, she had nothing to boost.
There's nothing to boost.
Flat as flat.
Wearing low cut things or things where when your boobies are sexy. No, they are not. I know that we're in the age of body positivity, but that's all bullshit.
Dude, no shit. I'm glad you brought that up because the first thing that went through my head as I saw her was exactly what you just said. She's just got no tits.
Exactly.
And for a big girl not to have tits is something wrong, man.
It's fine. Just don't accentuate it. She's worn plenty of outfits that are more flattering to her. Accentuate your big back or whatever. Don't accentuate your small boobs.
Yeah. I hate that too, though. I'm not going to lie.
Not everyone needs to get fake boobs. I'm not telling you that. It's just like you just don't need something, that may fall off your little nubbins.
Your little nubbins. And speaking of Raquel Rodriguez... no fatitos. Apparently Braun Strowman and Raquel have broken up. They've unfollowed each other. Yeah.
Is that why he hasn't come back? He's so sad.
I was gonna say, does this kind of fuck his return?
I don't know. I don't see why it should. I mean, listen, they're professionals. There's a hazard of dating at work. Don't I know it?
Right. Yeah, well, I won't go there, but you're right. But also, the fact that they're both on the same roster is what I find interesting.
Yeah, there's an easy way first of all, he had neck surgery, so I'm sure that there's. Listen, there's a men's locker room, there's a women's locker room, and I'm sure those two kids can figure it out. Or you can trade him to SmackDown. I mean, it ain't that.
You could do that.
He can take his little friend Ricochet with him. He doesn't have much to do on Raw anyway.
Yeah, I know they're both better off on SmackDown, to be honest, anyway. But also, he's got a new girl, it seems, too. A famous influencer from Instagram.
What the fuck's a famous influencer from Instagram?
She's got over 1 million followers, bro. That's what's famous now.
So who is she?
I forgot her name. She's
Famous.
hot. Yeah, well, exactly. I never knew who the fuck she was. But
Let me ask you the only question anybody cares about. Does she have boobies? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Of course.
He upgraded, dude. He upgraded big time.
There we go.
I'm telling you now.
All right.
He definitely upgraded.
You know
I'm
what?
not going to lie.
I'm sure it was a favor for both of them. I'm sure they're both. Believe me, Raquel, forget about all the booby shit we're talking about as if you're watching or listening to the show.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Trust
you
me,
could be
because you
better
want to
than
kill
Braun.
yourself
Don't worry.
after that.
Braun's a big dummy, and he's going to have some
Yeah,
serious
dummy.
problems when he turns about 45.
Speaking of dummies. Yeah, well, anyway, she gets on the mic after the little beatdown and states for clarity that she's been cleared and tells her that the match has been made for payback and she's going to take the WWE Women's World Championship. And whoopity whoop, couldn't care less. Because Rhea's going to get that ass.
Hey, a card is being built. That's all that matters. And this is also a story that they've been building for a bit. Not much of one, but it has been one.
It's more than AEW are doing for All In and All Out.
I mean, it's sort of true. I mean, certainly for All Out. It's funny, when Steve on Hammer Like Hangover, he said, are they going to do the show without 2 casino battle royals? I'm like, I don't know. They haven't said anything about that. Doesn't mean anything. But you know what? The easiest thing in the world is you have a casino battle royal for the men and for the women. And now you've put 2 matches for All Out because you have the winner of the casino battle royal for the men. I said the TNT title, but there's already a TNT title match. So they challenge for the international title instead. And the winner of the women's casino battle royal goes for the TBS title if you don't want to put the women's title as a result of that on All Out. And I think that'd be perfectly fine. A way to get everyone on both cards, or get everyone a trip to England and get on that card. And now you've booked 2 title matches for next week that, at least make some semblance of sense.
That's true. I agree. Well, anyway, we see the Miz making his entrance as we go to the break, and we come back from commercial because next we see Tommaso Ciampa cutting a promo about how his time of let him introspect, and talks about how Chad Gable and Shinsuke Nakamura have gone from wrestling him to challenging for titles, and says he came back here to be the guy. It's like oxygen, and he's dying to take a breath, Jeff.
This is like the Karrion Kross promo where he's like, everybody that beat me, I took something from them. So he's like, everyone that I beat went on to do better things. But he ain't got shit. Yeah, because they beat you, so they went on to do better things. That's how this combat sports is supposed to work. You win matches and you go on to bigger things. You lose matches, you don't. It's
dummy, man.
It's not a badge of honor that the people who beat you go on to have title matches. But okay, listen, Ciampa is a good promo. I like the sitting down thing. He needs something else. And the ironic thing is that I thought that him and Bronson Reed could be an interesting tag team, but Bronson Reed apparently has gone boo-booed himself too. So, and everyone knows DIY. No, DIY is dead on arrival. No one wants to see Johnny Gargano anywhere ever.
Well, and I'm one of them.
Unless he's the manager, maybe Dexter Lumis and Ciampa could work. I mean, give him something to do anyway.
Fire them all, Jeff. Fire them all.
I'm not saying that's tag team champions. I'm just saying as a program that they can feud with each other. Yeah. They're busy for
get them out.
A year.
Get them all out. Fuck them. They're a waste of space and money. There, wow. I said it again. Yep. Jeez. What's Dexter Lumis going to do, bro? Seriously. Look like a cross-eyed idiot.
He's not hurting anyone.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Okay.
He ain't hurting anyone. What?
He did some TV shows. He's getting his SAG-AFTRA card right in time for the strike, but he can get some benefits. And you can dust him off whenever you want. If you ever want a scary, menacing guy, there he is. You want to insta feud, you've caught him looking at you the wrong way. You don't like the way he was looking at you. Turns out he wasn't looking at you at all, but that's just the way he looks. And there you go. There's your wrestling misunderstanding.
Fire them all, Jeff.
All right, you are.
They can all get fucked. Look.
Dummy. Yeah.
All right.
Dummies, all of them.
Speaking of someone who could get fired, and I'd be happy, that stale piece of white toast that's the Miz.
Well, yeah. Well, he goes on to say that LA Knight lost a match on SmackDown and everybody's blaming him. But what Knight fails to realize is that on the big show, there's no room for excuses. He was the main event of WrestleMania when The Rock interfered in his match, and he still won. 20 years from now, we'll remember him as a game changer, whereas LA will be a blip on the radar. What would he say? The Hub Bass tank of WWE?
Yeah, I didn't know what he meant, but I don't think we're going to look back at him as a game changer. I think we're going to look back at him as an excellent game player. I mean, he's going to have a career for a long, long time because of WWE, and he played the game the right way. And he don't mind losing because he knows he's won in life. Good for him. That aside, not interested in him match, not interested in Tozawa, not interested in the fact that LA Knight was a distraction. Tozawa somehow beat The Miz. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Who cares?
I agree. Who cares?
Miz was okay. It was fine.
Yeah, well, anyway, basically Tozawa comes going, yeah, which is kind of funny. But anyway, he's shrunk, dude, actually. He's actually lost a lot of muscle mass. His head has it, definitely. Not that bad, but still, he's got a big head for sure. But anyway, that leads to a match between Tozawa and The Miz. And also, I said LA Knight comes on down as well. But he was on commentary pretty much for like 2 seconds because, ironically, Tozawa wins by pinfall via a victory roll pin, but which basically he counted the grand finale, whatever it's called. What's it called again? The Miz's finisher?
The A-lister, the Grand Slam finale.
Oh yeah, that's it. The Grand Slam finale, the grand finale, whatever the fuck it is. He
Grand
rolls
Slam
him
finale
up
because he's the 2-time Grand Slam winner.
That's true, but technically it is the. Anyway, who cares? Tozawa wins. Post-match, LA Knight runs in and hits his BFT on The Miz. And that's that. And we get a...
Yeah. Dummy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we have another payback match. So
Yeah.
Oh, it was meant to stop. Yeah. But yeah, like you said. Cool. Whatever. Oh, God. Next, we see Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle are down on the future of their team, where New Day roll up to tell them not to give up so fast. They've got something going, as Xavier Woods has a team name for them. Oh, well. Did that really happen before the McRiddle part? I thought it happened earlier, not now, but whatever. No. McRiddle.
Yeah, what you wrote but forgot that you wrote was correct. It happened now, but it doesn't matter because the story here is that Riddle's really excited about it. Drew McIntyre still is sort of reluctant about it, and the New Day are trying to egg them on. And they said, if when we beat the Viking Raiders, and if you guys want to have a rematch, we'd love to fight with you again, because that's what friends do.
God. Speaking of friends, that's true. Speaking of friends, we do see Judgment Day next, but before I go on to Judgment Day, Cena's returning to India, or is it his first time?
I don't know. I'm sure he's happy to go.
Oh, that's it. The skull-crushing finale. Thank you, Brenno. I knew that, but
while he's there, he'll probably visit a nice deli, maybe even a new deli.
Oh, God. Why not?
Right.
I mean, why not?
Good. You know what? This is another market where they have a big TV, market. John Cena makes a lot of movies. Sometimes his movies can't get into China. There's more people in India than China. There's more money in China, but still it can make a difference. So it's synergy for everyone.
Synergy from everyone, indeed.
Right.
Well, anyway, we come back from commercial. We get another media hype about John Cena again, about India, whatever.
Yeah, we don't need to.
Excuse me.
It happened 6 times during the show.
Right. Rhea Ripley then rolls up on Damian Priest, who informs her that he hasn't been able to work it out with Finn Balor, and he went off to talk to his boy JD McDonough, the big Ed. Priest blames Finn. Rhea gets mad and says she gave them a chance, and now they're going to do things her way, and she's pissed. And then Dominic sort of says something in Spanish to the big man in Damian Priest, which made me laugh because he must have been like, Mami is pissed off, eh?
Yeah, probably. Maybe next week we'll find out what Dominic whispered to Damien.
Next, this kills me, bro. I don't know what to say, but we see the man. And you know what was going through my head actually watching this?
Her hair looks weird. Her lemonade shirt is stupid.
It's pretty
She's
stupid.
too skinny.
Yeah, she needs to get some back, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
back.
because she ain't got no back. That's the problem. I mean, like I saw a thing on Twitter, for example, about chicks, how they measure their backsides in the gym. They use like a set of weights. Like think of your bicep curl bar, right? But a straight bar, not a curled bar. And they put two 25-pound plates on each end, and the chick has to lay down on their stomachs. And if it rolls past their backside, they've got a flat ass. And if it doesn't, that means you got a good ass.
That seems like a really terrible idea.
It worked, but it's funny.
It sounds like a really terrible idea. I mean, there's so many easier ways to be told whether or not you have a booty or not. I mean,
we
like,
could just check it
like,
out. I mean,
like go past a construction site. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Becky, she doesn't look like a fighter anymore, and this feud is going. It's like never had any energy, and no matter what they try, I mean, all they can do now is to end it. And I know that, like, I think I'm like the only one that is actually enjoying Trish's vocal work now, but her in-ring work is no good. Yeah, I think the less said about this segment, the better. It just means that they're going to be in a cage match, whatever, big deal. And Trish like cuts heel promos, but more like a face. Like she's the one saying, you know, sure I'm scared, but I've been scared before. That's a face promo. This whole none of this is hitting the right chords. All of it has been off from like day one.
well, this song was running through my head as I was watching this. I don't know if you can tell. Obviously, you should be able to tell what's playing in the background. Because this is just retarded, dude. I don't care. This is just not clicking, dude. It's just not.
No, it's not. It wasn't clicking from day one. The Trish heel turn didn't click. And then Lita, who nobody ever needed to see her again, but for her to just disappear after that made no sense. None of this makes any sense. It was like a bad idea. They should have had tryouts. They should have like done rehearsals before they committed to the whole Lita, Trish, and Becky thing. And it's just been a bit of a mistake. And nobody wants to see a 47-year-old in what is, could be her last run. Do it as a heel.
This is Dungeon of Doom shit.
Yeah, and if it was for her to do it as a heel, it should be for her to put over like a young face. Like it should be for her to put over like a Thea Hale or Roxanne Perez or something. Like some 22-year-old that's gonna come up. Like not Becky, who's on probably the backside of her career. Speaking of back,
literally.
She's a mother of one. She's probably what, 35, 36. I mean, she's probably in the same age range as Seth. I mean, she's a middle-aged wrestler now.
Yeah. Well, apparently, according to Breno, who's also Irish, Becky's emaciated. Now it's a shame.
She's very thin. Everyone's been saying that ever since her return. This is not breaking news. We're not the only ones to say that she's very thin. And listen, sure, she's very healthy. But she doesn't look like she's tough.
Chris Williams says, JD and Tozawa should unite and dress like Rock'em Sock'em robots.
It's like the movie CB4. They should be the bagheads.
Oh God.
They could be the pumpkin heads.
Well, anywho, she talks up her match against Trish Stratus at Payback and says there's been a lot.
Oh, listen. The whole reason I did that whole thing was so that you didn't have to do this.
Oh, fuck it. Let's just move on. Basically, the line of the night for me was Trish pretty much turning on the Quebec crowd, saying, right. I'm from Toronto. But before that, it was cringe. The fans weren't reacting. The fans didn't even react for Trish.
Well, it was pretty funny when she said it's not even Montreal.
Well, it's true. It's not. So, I mean, heh. But yeah, let's move on from this shit.
You know what Mount Royal means?
What'd you say?
Montreal.
What, Royal? Montreal?
Montreal
What?
is
It means
Royal
something
Mountain.
real?
Yeah, it's Royal
Or
Mountain.
real Royal? Real means royal?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, it's like a Real Madrid?
Hmm?
Like Royal Madrid?
Don't you remember the whole Sangriel, Royal Blood?
I don't know, Jeff, but right now, do we really want to talk history?
No, let's move on.
Let's move on, shall we? Because Chelsea Green and Piper Niven are next versus Katana Chance and Kaden Carter in a squash match. And
Literally a squash.
first of all, it's awkward seeing what's her name? Not Katana Chance, Kaden Carter.
Why? What's wrong with Kaden Carter?
When she's doing her friggin' her wobble.
It's the best
at
thing
sta-
ever.
It seriously, dude. Her gyrating. I mean, she does it so fast. Like she's got to relax, dude.
What's your problem with her gyrating her hips over Katana Chance? Pray tell. Is that when you were thinking about Gaelic football?
She's just so small, bro.
Oh my God.
She's tiny. Both of them are tiny.
You know what? Shut up. This is ridiculous.
Tiny teddies, bro.
This was like the second best part of the whole segment. Anyway, what's stupid is that Adam Pearce is still letting them keep their titles. This whole thing is stupid. The only thing that wasn't stupid is there was a squash match. And,
Watch.
Chelsea Green can make everything work. I mean, she's that good because she's getting beat up the whole time. She doesn't really want to be with Piper Niven. Piper Niven's bullying her around. But at the same time, Piper Niven is the one that's carrying the team. And she literally carried Chelsea Green out of the ring after they beat K&K Dance Factory.
As the vet and Big Ray Hernandez like saying, the Factory is the best tag team in all of pro wrestling, bro.
They're terrific. I don't know if it was you or Steve who said, I'm not sure if Piper Niven is technically Chelsea Green's tag team partner now. And I said, yes, she is. Oh, it was Steve.
I never said that. I never said that.
Because he was trying to tell me how they think that it's going to do this. I'm like, Steve, what in the world of WWE other than Bloodline has led you to believe that they gave it as much thought? No, this is absolutely done. So, Steve, if you're listening to this, I know you're not. Obviously, it's done now. They've had a title defense. It's done. They are.
You telling me he doesn't listen?
He lives in his own head. He thinks WWE is clever when they're not clever. He thinks they're stupid when they're not stupid. He's still convinced they're trying to bury Cody. I mean, it's like a whole bunch. I work with children.
Well, I'm not Steve. Just saying. Remember that?
There are different kinds of children.
What am I, preteen?
Yeah, I don't want to get into it right now.
Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Because next we see your boy, my boy. Or is it your boy?
Hammerstone?
No, actually, I did see a picture of Hammerstone and Holiday, ironically. But
they made up. They're friends again. That's nice.
Wait, they weren't friends?
Yeah, they had a big feud to right before he got Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
well,
how they wore the whole white suit, so you knew he was going to bleed. There was going to be blood involved. Yeah, him and Alicia too were doing the whole power couple thing. I guess before MLW said, "Yeah, we can't afford you two either."
Well, I want to see MJF join that crew also again because I love the three of them together, dude.
More likely they'll join MJF than.
Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I mean, every time Holiday goes to an AEW show, it's rumored that they're going to sign him.
Oh, they should sign both of these guys, personally.
Well, Alicia too is going to be in England, and I'm sure her boy toy's going with her. So you never know. Could maybe MJF brings his real best friend
right
all in, while Adam Cole has been suckered into thinking he's a best friend and alienated his actual other best friends.
Actually, that could be exactly what happens.
Oh, it could be. I know.
You must know something.
First,
you're not
folks.
telling me.
You heard it here, folks.
You did. You actually did. Well, anyway, speaking of, we see Seth Rollins, as I said. He asked for a second to let the crowd sing, and they do as they go, oh,
fuck you, crowd.
Oh, Anyway, asked about his back and says Shinsuke Nakamura caught him off guard last week because his back injury isn't something he likes to talk about publicly. But yes, he does have 2 fractures in his lumbar spine, and he's been living with it for 4 years. Now, first of all, Jeff, this sounds a lot worse than what he's leading on, but it's obviously not bad enough to the point where he can't wrestle.
Yep, I guess not. And he says it's not something that gets better. So, I don't know. Seth, go get better. Au revoir.
Au revoir, indeed. Anyway, it doesn't get better by itself, as he says. It only gets worse, and he doesn't know. And he doesn't know. Well, yeah, that's true.
Time.
Take your time, indeed. How much longer he's going to be able to do this at the level he's at, that's part of the gig, and so is Nakamura targeting his injuries and taking cheap shots and playing mind games. It's even part of the gig for him to question his character. But if Shinsuke wants to bring his family into it, which I don't remember him really doing so, but whatever, then he better be prepared to face him man to man, mano a mano.
Maybe the code on his little tramp stamp that's in Japanese are his kids' names.
Well, it could be. But he's not, is he? He's not even here tonight, is he? He's in a TV studio 1,000 miles away, too afraid to face him. So here's what Seth will do. Next week, he's going to give him one more chance to play his games and prove to the world he's an honorable warrior. Arigato.
Yeah, well, Seth also just admitted it to the Senor Money in the Bank.
You know what this felt like? Is he like American Ninja versus a Japanese Ninja? Is that what's going on?
I hope not. Also, wasn't JD McDonough's gimmick in NXT? The answer is yes. It was that he was like sort of like an evil doctor, and like he knew every part of the body and could manipulate the body to cause maximum pain.
I DGAF, Jeff. I didn't care what he was in NXT. So,
well, maybe Damien should talk to JD McDonough and find out how to exploit that back, because every time they try to use the briefcase, it seems to backfire on them. They're like 0 for 3.
Literally
so far.
backfire on him.
Yeah, they're 0 for 3.
Well, that's a good
making
segue.
A fart joke?
No, not that type of backfiring. But I was talking about Seth's back as the joke. But anyway, but that's a good segue because we do get Judgment Day in Damian Priest and Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, even though the two of them didn't seem like they wanted to tag up, but they did nevertheless. But I just want to point out, as you said, we do see a part where JD McDonough throws the Money in the Bank briefcase supposedly towards, Punishment Martinez, right? As in Damian Priest. But it missed him. I don't know how you miss him because he's like nearly 7 feet tall, but whatever. Mm-hmm. Only for Owens to get it. He clobbers him, and the referee sees it, so it's a count-out victory to the Judgment Day, surprisingly. But no, we forgot everybody's best friend. He's my best friend. He's your best friend, Jeff. He is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Well, first, Damian Priest yells at JD McDonough, says, "What are you doing? Why are you touching my stuff? I'm going to rip your head off."
Yeah, she did say that.
Right.
Also, Rhea Ripley said, "Kiss my ass" to the fans.
Yep. Then Cody comes out, rescues them. He's got his weight belt. He hits Dominic in the stomach with the belt. And then Sammy and Kevin quickly get up and realize that the weight belt isn't a good weapon. And then Cody goes, "Oh, no, Raw's not ending like this." Well, of course it's not, because it ends at 11, dummy. And he's like, "There's 3 of us and there's 3 of you because we haven't seen this. So let's have another match." And I mean, you don't need Vince McMahon to do Vince McMahon booking. You
don't. And I'm not going to lie. When I saw that, I was so cursing. I'm like, "Fuck you, Cody. I don't want to see more. I don't want to see a 6-man."
I complained about this last week.
Yeah, but we got it. This
is like Dusty and the Rock and Roll Express against the Horsemen every week.
Oh, my God. Anyway, that does lead us to an impromptu match between Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn versus the Judgment Day. Insert, though, Dominic Mysterio into the mix. And we get, I mean, what can I say? It's much of the same, pretty much. Yeah. Except win via stunners and haluva kicks and crossroads. And, yeah, just everything in a sandwich.
The hometown crowd was happy with their local heroes and the American hero. And all
I was going to say the local hero.
Yeah. No JD McDonough. And he was
God.
gone. So
Where did he go? What happened to him?
I guess he was afraid that Damian Priest was going to rip his head off. Maybe Mami told him to go back.
I have no idea sometimes with this show, but yeah, it was a decent show nevertheless. If it wasn't for Quebec, it would have sucked, let's be honest.
Well, yeah. I mean, they were alive the whole time. I mean, the usual too much Judgment Day, but yeah, they mixed up the show flow. They had some vignettes, they had some promos, it was okay. Listen, last week was awful. Last week there was like 40 minutes of television. This week there was maybe like 95 minutes of actual wrestling television. This was a fine Raw. This was a like you think Rhea's boobs. This was a C cup on the show.
You did actually hint that earlier, and I'm gonna have to agree. It was definitely a C cup for me also. But I guess we can take it home now, Jeff. We have done 2 hours exactly.
Yeah.
So tell them where they can find you, man.
Find me on Twitter at IcarusFellMD. If you want to find me on Threads, I think it's Ralph Mortigan. You can find me here on the PWC. You can find me also on HMG, Hameen Media Group, where we do Uncaged and we do Smack Attack and we do The Wreckage. And you can also find Garden of Doom and Garden Views, both on PWC and HMG. You can find Hammerlock Hangover that I do with Esteban Pena, Pineapple, Steve Pena, that's here on PWC. By the way, I dropped it's a hybrid Garden of Doom, Garden Views, because it really was supposed to be Garden Views, but Viv put in the Garden of Doom entrance or intro, and I told her not to redo it again. And it was with my good friend Mike Hilliard from Australia from the Red Line podcast on Warfare in Space.
I want to listen to that actually when I get off here.
Yeah, and this week on Garden of Doom proper will be good friend Reverend Jim Willis, and we'll be covering his new book, American Cults. And I'm actually recording with Reverend Jim Willis also this weekend on First Nations mythology, and I'm also recording later this week with a witch on Garden of Doom as well.
The music's appropriate with all that you just said.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm doing Garden of Views also tonight. I think the guy is I think he's either an AI guy. I don't know. I'll figure it out before the show.
Wow, geez, that's interesting. So check it out. Otherwise, you don't sound so confident. Wait, did you freeze?
No, I just have to, I'll just have to.
No, you're right. You're cool. Continue on.
Okay, no, go ahead. It's fine.
Well, if you want to follow me, you can on the Twitter or the X, whatever the hell it is, at DJ MassFX. Also, you can follow us at the PWC Network. Please like and subscribe right here at the PWC Network.podbean.com, where you can find all our shows on the download, including this one. And please, if you can, give us a review, a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever it is. Just get us out there because it really benefits us. So that'll be great. And also like and subscribe at channelattitude.com, where for $5 you get the best talk in all of wrestling, and at HameenMediaGroup.podbean.com, where you can find all our affiliate shows. So Jeff, I think it's a wrap, dude. So in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is Dr. Jeff Lippman, and you've been listening and watching the PWC Monday Night Machismo right here on the PWC Network. And we're out. Au revoir.
He's an international diplomat, not AI at all. International diplomat specializing in Eastern Caribbean. So we're going to talk about diplomacy.
Well, there you go. Diplomacy it is.
Diplomacy. International diplomacy. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
And stay evil, my friends.
Stay evil. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
With no school side nigga, yeah, motherfuck the principal. Ain't no stress, or finesse. Got it out the mouth, you can blame it all on me. Get another million, don't gotta flip. No keys and no Steinway, that's my re-up. Got a little glitter in my seizure. Motion picture nigga, no teaser. Your girl foul and pitch fever. Took the bag, you believe that. Now I got the life I wanted. Open, I don't fuck it up and make mistakes, I'm just a human. Please God forgive me. 100,000 to my bitch, I bet she could afford me. Living color bosses, welcome to Cali. New money, nigga, go get your money, go be somebody. Just make sure you watch your drink at the party. 100,000 to my bitch, I bet she could afford me. Living color bosses, welcome to Cali. Sure you watch your drink at the party, please. Go ahead, let her choose. Even if she choose, she'll be coming home with me. No way. You can't see the boy. I am not your boy. You can't see the boy. 100,000 to my bitch, I bet she could afford me. Welcome to Cali. New money, nigga, go get your money, go be somebody. Just make sure you watch your drink at the party. 100,000 to my bitch, I bet she could afford me. Living color bosses, welcome to Cali. New money, nigga, go get your money, go be somebody. Just make sure you watch your drink at the party, please. Coming home with me. No way. You can't see the boy. I am not your boy. You can't see the boy.
The PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to.